Hi, this is Kevin with Advanced Leather Solutions. I have a project that I want to demonstrate how to create a washed or wiped effect onto leather. We have a client that's requested that we color leather, mix a color that is specific to her, where she has a base coat and a print coat. Instead of applying the print coat in the standard tamping motion, she wants to apply it in a wiping motion. So here is the base coat that we then colored this piece of leather to create the base effect that this client wants. And then here is the print color. Now what I've done is I have put some print color into our tamping plate, if you will, and I've got a device that is sort of just a small piece of sponge. You could use a cotton cloth to do this too, and notice that I've got the edges sticking out. And so this is going to be my applicator. But first, what I want to do is just tape off a section of this so we can sort of have a reference of where we started. And so that's the purpose of this. And then I'm going to stick the applicator into the color. And I'm going to take a little bit of that color off onto a paper towel. And then I'm going to use it as a swiping motion. It's going to create these long swipes of color across the leather. A little bit more color. A little bit more swipes. And you can see that what we're doing here is we're creating then an effect that has a washed or a wiped look. So let's let that dry and we'll take a look at what it looks like on a second application. We're now back for pass number 2 using our wiping technique with an applicator. Again, a cotton cloth is going to work fine for you. Make sure that you have the edges of the cloth pointing outwards like this. And we're going to take it and apply it into the color. Then we're going to take it over to a paper towel and take some of the color off. And then using a long sweeping wiping motion, we're going to create these swipe marks onto the leather itself. So you can see it's a pretty straightforward process. It's not all that complicated. A little bit of color in and then swipes. And then you can control the darkness based upon how many swipes. You can control how exaggerated it is based upon the length of the swipe. We have a relatively short piece of leather here, so you can create really long swipes on the outside back panel, and you can do swirls if you want. So you can create all kinds of different techniques, and it's up to you in terms of how you do it. But the typical technique is going to be long sweeping motions of the color across the surface. And so let's take a look at what we have. Remember, here's the original, and here's what it looks like. And it's not fully dry yet. You can still see some areas of wet spots on it. But you can clearly see how we have the swiping action or this antiquing effect that the color coat is allowing us to create.